Hello, everyone. This is Inspiring Stories of Empowered Women, presented by Gandhara Independent Film Festival. This is in line with JIP's short film program, Empowered Women. I am Mina Cruz. I am one of the community executives of JIF, and I'm also an actor and filmmaker from Bulacan, Philippines. Bulacan, my hometown, is an hour away from the metro. So before the pandemic, it was really easy for me to travel back and forth and access job opportunities in the capital. But at the same time, I also think that it quite distracted me from building networks in my own hometown. But recently, I had a short film project, which I'm really proud of because aside from being able to collaborate with local producers, I was also able to work with a team that, although it's small, it's composed of 99% film workers from my hometown, and 80% of that cast and crew are female. I started in the independent film scene here in the Philippines back in 2010, and I've juggled a lot of different jobs during that time, from being a production manager to production designer. I also did assistant directing, writing, acting, and then eventually I started making my own films. But I couldn't say that it was an easy transition from working on those different job positions and then jumping into producing and directing my own short films because I didn't go to film school and I didn't have the financial privilege to enroll in one. So I relied deeply on self-study, experience, and learning from the amazing people that I've worked with. Back then, I also didn't have the focus to identify what path I really wanted to pursue. So I had to look deeper in myself, and I realized that as a kid, my choices were either laughed at or seen as not good enough. So I had difficulty identifying the things that are my favorites or the things that I really wanted. I also realized that growing up, adults in my household had high expectations of me, and yet my achievements were barely recognized nor rewarded as compared to my brothers. And those things actually had an impact in my adult life that at some point I had this perception that my works and achievements were always small to be called a success. It also provided an answer for me why I used to feel like there's this invisible barrier that blocks me from creating and achieving goals. So personally, I think that self-awareness is a very important factor. I mean, there are things that we need to learn and unlearn, and we really need to develop ourselves. And this process can make a significant difference once we create and tell stories. For instance, I have a short film screenplay about coming of age during early colonial times. And when I wrote it, it was a mere fascination of the old Filipino ritual of welcoming a girl into womanhood. But during the quarantines, I got a lot of time to think and reflect. I think being alone kind of introduced me to this space that is free from other people's influences, and I'm able to recognize and just listen to my own energy. And as I mentioned, I was brought up influenced by implicit biases. In fact, in my younger years, I had difficulty establishing female friendships. But the self-reflection made me realize these, and so I started connecting more to my own gender. I started studying and consuming more female-created materials. Also, I took a look at my past experiences and my past relationships. And when I sat back to write the screenplay, it had a different turn. It had a different theme and purpose, and it's now leaning more on the female energy. It has become more of an expression of my desire of a maternal guidance that introduces self-worth and also an energy of women supporting fellow women. Recently, I had been equipping myself by learning creative producing, and with some people being sad about the shift to online, for me, I love it. I embrace it. It is very practical for me, and also for the reason that I'm not privileged enough to just take a break from the other responsibilities. So online programs are perfect for me because I can fit it in my schedule and I can still continue looking after the needs of my family. It may sound petty for some people, but getting around the invisible work is a reality for us women. And I personally think that it actually affects our decisions in accepting long-term jobs, accepting lock-in shoots, or applying to residency programs. Yeah, I've been dedicating time to learn producing and little by little applying it to small projects so that eventually I can work with other young female directors, because this is also the kind of relationship and collaboration that I actually needed when I was younger. But the reality for me is I had to make a path leading to it. So hopefully at the right time, I can be able to guide other women as well. I think that there are really, really good changes happening and that more and more women are creating. And I personally think that this must continue. It should be supported, it should be celebrated. And if we are in position to provide, I hope that we provide equity, because the more women's stories are out there, the more it can influence change in societal mindset.